This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this.
Right now, it's a relationship of disappointment and frustration that some of the decisions of China put American lives at risk.
I will say that from an economic standpoint, I think next year is going to be a very big year. There's tremendous demand. You see it with the stock market, where the stock market's at 24,000 and we went through the worst attack we've ever had on our country. This is really the worst attack we've ever had. This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this. And it should have never happened. Could have been stopped at the source. Could have been stopped in China. It should have been stopped right at the source. And it wasn't. Okay.
Stands though right now, at this moment, how does the White House view the U.S. relationship with China right now?
Right now, it's a relationship of disappointment and frustration because the president has said how frustrated he is that some of the decisions of China put American lives at risk. I'll share just a few that China, for instance, did not share the genetic sequence until after a professor in Shanghai did so on his own. And after that genetic sequence was shared the next day, the lab was shut down for, quote, rectification. The World Health Organization slow-walked information on human-to-human transmission that was not adequately provided by China. China didn't let U.S. investigators in. And look, those decisions put American lives at risk. And the president is certainly not happy about that. And as the president said, you'll be hearing more about that next week.
Some 49 years ago, the UN and WHO decided that there was only one legitimate representative of China within the UN system, and that is the People's Republic of China. The involvement, if any, of Taiwanese observers in that assembly is a question for the 194 governments of WHO. You know, there are also questions about Taiwan's participation in WHO expert meetings and questions about their participation in the World Health Assembly. WHO is an intergovernmental organization, meaning that countries decide how the organization is structured and on its policies. Some 49 years ago, the UN and WHO decided that there was only one legitimate representative of China within the UN system, and that is the People's Republic of China. That decision still stands. WHO is also a specialized agency of the United Nations, and as such, aligns with the UN and must do so coherently. The work of WHO staff, in line with our Constitution, is to promote the health of all people everywhere and to assist with, but not decide on, issues at the World Health Assembly. Regarding the World Health Assembly, the next one will be in 2 weeks, starting on May 18th. The involvement, if any, of Taiwanese observers in that assembly is a question for the 194 governments of WHO. This is not something that WHO Secretariat has authority to decide. And indeed, 2 countries have already formally proposed that member states consider this matter at the World Health Assembly. And a final word. A lot of attention has focused on Taiwan's participation with WHO, and we understand that. We are also mindful that there are other places too that, for many different reasons, look for connections to WHO. But it is not the role of WHO staff to be involved in geopolitical issues. In fact, our principles of neutrality and impartiality exist to keep us out of those issues and to promote the role of evidence-based science in all our work. Our role, even when we operate in sensitive political areas or in complex humanitarian emergencies, is to follow the rules and policies that member states set out and, working within them, to strengthen health systems and access to health care for all people everywhere. Others may want to add to this. Thanks very much.